This is PS 122. It was right probably 200 yards up on the other side of the street from me, and like right here this was concrete. Now it looks like it's green or whatever is in there, some kind of artificial surface. But in our time it was concrete, and home plate was right here in the corner, right there. And when I said, the left field was short, it was about 120 feet to left field, but over the left field fence was out. And right field, you could hit the ball 200, 300 feet down the line before it went out for a home run. So you had plenty of room in right center, and center field. But the guys played softball. The big guys, say I'm 13, the guys 20, some of them were war veterans, and they'd play for money, and the games would be going on. And then the visiting teams were at a big disadvantage because the right-handed hitters would slug the ball over the left field fence, but it was out. You could hit the ball 400 feet, you're out, man, that's it. Plus, when the games were going on, there'd always be guys playing cards or shooting craps, mainly shooting craps. And the cops would come every once in a while, and the guys would run off, and the cops would take their cards and the money that was laying out on that thing before they ran off. And we also I played basketball. I don't know if you can see, there's basketball courts right in the beginning there. I'm not sure if you can notice them there, but I played basketball there during the week. And on the weekends, we'd have big three-a-side. There'd be three people on each side. You'd play half court. You'd have to, if the ball hit the rim, you had to go back past the foul line and bring the ball back in and shoot. And I think 5 baskets would win, or maybe 11 baskets. I don't know, whatever it was, 5 baskets. But I remember vividly, there'd be 3 on a side, and my brother and I, my brother Frankie, who was a year and a half younger and wasn't as good in basketball, but he was a real scrappy hustler. If the ball went out of bounds and they'd argue who hit it last, I always said, I'll let them have it. Because I knew I was going to get picked. Usually the next guys, there'd be 1 or 2 guys would be next to play, and they'd pick me to be on their team. But my brother Frankie wouldn't get picked, and he'd have to wait a half hour sometime before his turn came up for another game. So that's the way he played that. You can notice out on the street here, there's a number of cars parked, but as I said before, when the war was on, they didn't make cars, so there might only be 2 or 3 cars on the whole block. So we'd play stick ball. We'd also play slap ball out on the street, where we'd have home plate would be on one side of the curb, first would be on the other side of the street, second, third, and we'd guy pitch it in, and we'd slap the ball and have to run to get the base. One of our other big activities there in the summertime was playing cards. And we had the big round wooden telephone poles. Now they look like they have these slender metal poles. But just imagine the big telephone poles that might go up 30 feet up in the air. And we would lean against them and sit right on the sidewalk there and play cards in the summer. And we'd play whist, which was sort of like, I forget, bridge, I guess. There'd be 4 guys playing. You'd have 2 partners, and we'd also play brisk, which was an Italian game. And in brisk, you could talk. If you got a load, you want to take a load. You talk back and forth. But as kids, we would sit around there and play cards during the summer. One of the guys lived on the block across the street from me. 1941, World War II breaks out. And this guy's father is taken away. He was German. And his father was taken away and put in prison, I guess, or detention for the entire war till about 1945. But the one great thing growing up in the city is the number of kids on the street. There'd be hundreds of kids out on that street. So you always had somebody to play with. It was great growing up in Astoria, Queens, New York.